Now, if there is anything that cannot be stopped in the world, it's water. Some of you, your destiny, your purpose is like a leak. You are the story of your family. You are the story of Namibia that was. Greetings. I just want to share a quick word with you regarding African status and beliefs and norms when it comes to finance. I have come to realize that as African, we are drowning in some norms and beliefs that keeps us stagnant as a continent and as people. Now, I have a concept in dealing with finance called family stability when it comes to finance. Family stability when it comes to finance. Now, this is very vital and very, very important. When you Google the 10 top family business in the US, you will discover that actually almost 70% of the American economy runs on family business. Family business. Successful family business that runs the economy of the US. Now, how do we arrive at that kind of a mindset as Africans? Because African beliefs and African norms, we believe in what we call extended families, which is very, very important. You have proverbs like a child is raised by the village. Those are proverbs that are very, very important. And it's about Ubuntu. You are because I am because you are. We live together in that kind of society. Now, in the same concept of family, of a child is raised by the village, and also the proverb which you know, charity begins at home. It has a very, very powerful aspect when it comes to wealth and finance. Now, if a child is raised by the village, you will agree with me that a child is also raised in terms of understanding and beliefs and practices and behavior or habits in dealing with finance. So if you grow up in a certain village, and remember that village is a metaphor, it just represents a community, a culture where people live together. So if you grow up in a village, in a certain culture where we are not persuaded to build family wealth and family business, you will find yourself that the same village where a child is raised by the village, you will acquire certain skills that makes you to live in mediocrity and in poverty. So let us agree that as much as knowledge is passed on, knowledge on poverty is also passed on. Knowledge on finance and wealthy is also passed on. Now let me reference a book, Rich Daddy and Poor Daddy. Now you have heard Robert Kiyosaki talking about that. And it goes back to the concept of a child is raised by the village. It goes back to the concept of transferring knowledge from one generation to the next. So, I have an issue. Africans, and most of African families, they can agree with me, that when one person in the family succeeds, become a breadwinner, he is an uncle and auntie where everybody begin to look up to. There is a danger. There is a danger to that. And the danger is, if we do not have a family strategy, remember we are dealing with family stability on finance. So if we do not have a family strategy, which is a plan on how to empower your family, your brother, your sister, your siblings, so that they can be independent from that one person who is a breadwinner, you will find a situation where when that person dies, it's a very terrible sight to look at in that family. Now, I agree. Let us learn from other countries and other continents as African. You look at the Chinese, you look at the Indians. Do not just give a fish to your sister, your brother, but train them how to fish. So what am I saying? In your family, if you are a breadwinner, instead of you every month end distributing some small coins, a $10, a $20 to your family members every month end, take that same money, tell your family boldly, you have to wait for me for the next 5 years. I want to build, take the same seed, I want to plant it and water it, which is the business, and then each one of you can have your own seed out of this seed. I want to take this seed, this small salary I get every month, I want to plant it and water it. When it is a big tree, now you and I can have a seed from that tree which you are going to get and go and plant it and water it until you also do the same to the next person. Now, if you're going to take your small salary as a firstborn of the family, as a breadwinner of the family, whatever you are in your family as looked at, and begin to distribute, you will have nothing left. At the end of the day, no matter, and I should tell you, no matter sometimes how you help your family, someday they may not be able to appreciate much when you don't have. Even when you tell them you don't have. But if we can begin to develop a culture where you take your small salary, plant it as a seed, which is start a business, and water it until it's so big as a big tree, and you take a seed and you distribute to every family member, and they should go and plant it. Now, I started earlier by talking about African proverb, and a child is raised by the village. You will understand and realize that for those of you who have lived in the village, your grandmother and your mothers used to preserve the seed. You don't eat the seed, no matter the famine you go through as a family or as a society. You do not eat the seed. You preserve the seed. Now, when the planting season comes, we go back, take the seed and plant it. Most of us in our generation of YOLO, you only live once, we keep eating our seed and expect miracles. There is no magic to life. There is no miracles to life. Miracles is season in, season out. Season in, season out. What you plant comes back as a cycle. Now, let's take a mango tree seed. You take a mango seed, you plant it. It might take probably 5 to 10 years before you can get the fruit. And within the fruit, there is a seed. And you take that seed, give it to your neighbor, give it to your brother, give it to your sister. They should eat the mango, but they should keep the seed. Let them also go and plant. There is a culture where we just constantly draining the breadwinners, and the breadwinners also have a certain African mindset where they just think they can't build anything, but they keep on giving. In a later stage, you will run in a financial crisis. So a family stability is grounded on a family strategy. A family stability is grounded on a family strategy, which is a plan. Family stability, we're talking about the prosperity and the generational wealth transferring from one family to the next. It runs on a family strategy, plan. Without the family strategy, you end up with a family tragedy. You end up with a family tragedy. So I hope you learn one or two things from this discussion. Do not eat your seed, and do not just distribute because you're a breadwinner. Take your seed, plant it, and eventually let it be a tree, and take out of that tree fruits, and also give a seed to the next one also to plant. That way you will have a family stability from generation to generation. That should be some of the mindset in dealing with financial stability and the family stability when it comes to wealth and wealth.